and welcome to Fuzhou in Fujian province on the southeast coast of China. It's semi-finals day here at the Thaihot China Open, the 11th of the 12 tournaments that make up the MetLife BWF World Superseries, and as you can see, just Hong Kong to come after this, plus of course the destination Dubai finals. Super Series finals, top 8 players or pairs in each of the 5 disciplines will qualify for the Super Series finals at the end of the year. Well, it is semi-finals day here today. As I say, 5 matches for you this afternoon, and we're starting with the world number 1s in the women's doubles. Matsutomo and Takahashi up against Chang and Lee So-hee, winners of the Korean Grand Prix Gold last week. Then men's doubles and the 2-time World Championship bronze medalists Kim Ji-jung and Kim Sa-rang up against this year's World Championship bronze medalists Endo and Ayaka. Then we've got men's singles, and Lin Dan, the 5-time winner of this event, looking to reach his 7th final here at the China Open. He's up against the former world number 1, Lee Chong-wei of Malaysia. Then women's singles, and Saina Nehwal, the defending champion, is up against the 2011 winner, Wang Yihan of China. Then we finish with mixed doubles and the World Championship silver medalists Liu Cheng and Bao Yi-sin up against the Olympic bronze medalists Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen. So the first of our matches is that women's doubles, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi up against Zhang Yana and Lee So-hee of Korea. So before we see that women's doubles, a chance for us to look at the destination Dubai rankings. And the top 6 remain the same after the last Super Series tournament, but only 4 of the pairs in the top 10 have won a Super Series tournament this year. In fact, of the 10 previous Super Series events, we've had 10 different winners in the women's doubles discipline. That is a staggering statistic, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So as far as the draw is concerned, well, the bottom half of the draw, all Chinese affair, a pair that's never been beaten, Tang Yuanting and Yu Yang up against the reigning world and Olympic champions and beaten finalists from last year, Tian Cheng and Zhao Yunlei. But we're going to concentrate on the top half of the draw with Matsutomo and Takahashi against the Korean pair. Incidentally, only 2 seeds left in, as you can see. The number 1 seeds from Japan and the world and Olympic champions, the number 5 seeds. So here come the players for the first of our matches. The world number 1s, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi, against the left and right-handed combination from Korea, Zhang Yana and Lee So-hee. Well, I'm Jill Clark, delighted to say that once again I've got former Danish head coach Steen Pedersen sitting beside me. And Steen, I was talking about 10 different pairs winning the 10 previous Super Series this year. That is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And yeah, I guess was it only the Japanese that has won a tournament so far?
That's right. It's this Japanese pair. They were winners earlier this year of the India Super Series event. Apart from that, the other 3 pairs in the competition haven't won a Super Series competition this year. But of course, the Korean combination did reach the final in the Korea Super Series, losing out to Meswari and Polly, the Indonesians who won their first ever Super Series title in Seoul earlier this year. Well, there is Lee So-hee, the 21-year-old. Her partner, the left-hander, will be turning 26 next month. So 17 in the world ranking. They shot up 13 places after winning last week in the Korea Grand Prix Gold. They've only played 7 tournaments, though, towards their world ranking. And you can see their career win-loss record and year win-loss record, only 1 loss difference. And that indicates that there was only 1 tournament last year. That was the Hong Kong. That was their first event. This year, they played 6 tournaments and been in 3 finals. Not only won the Korean Grand Prix Gold last week, but also the final of the Korean Super Series and the final of the Thailand Grand Prix Gold as well. Now, they've had a sensational route through to today's semi-final. Number 6 seeds, Kakiwa and Maeda, they absolutely thrashed in that opening round. And then in the second round, Tang Xinhua and Song Xiansing, that was a tough battle, 3 games there. And they disposed of the number 3 seeds from Denmark, Peterson and Ruta Yule, yesterday in the quarterfinal. Well, there is Ayaka Takahashi, the 25-year-old from Nara in Japan. They are the world number 1s. They're number 4, incidentally, on the Super Series list. You may remember that from just a moment ago. They've missed one of the tournaments this year. That was due to an injury to this young lady, Misaki Matsutomo, who injured her ankle in her home event, the Japan Super Series. Well, for a second consecutive year, they're semi-finalists here at the China Super Series. They've been in 2 finals this year from 12 tournaments played. And they had a bye in the first round. In the second round, they had to play against Che Yu-jung and Kim So-young. And they went the full distance there. They dropped the opening game, but came back very strongly in the decider. In the quarterfinal yesterday, if you were with us, you will have enjoyed their match against the Malaysians, Ansaleh and Song. Good to see the Malaysians in their first ever Super Series quarterfinal. And at a premiere at that. That was a big step forward, I think, for that Malaysian pair. Well, this will be the first meeting between these 2 pairs. Not surprising, considering Zhang Yenar and Lee So-hee, a relatively new partnership. Well, there's their coach,
Ayaka,
former
Takahashi,
great player.
Misaki, Matsutomo, Japan. And on my left, Lee So-hee, Chang, Korea.
Lee Kyung-won was just pausing for the umpire to make the introductions of the players. But Lee Kyung-won, of course, the Olympic silver medalist in the women's doubles with Lee Ho-jung, and now coaching this women's doubles pair. Now, Steen, I know that Zhang Yenar and Lee So-hee are a very new combination, but what I've seen so far I've been very impressed with. I think they're an adventurous pair. Certainly I saw them last week. I thought they were looking to attack the whole time. And in the infancy of their partnership, they've enjoyed some good success already. 3 finals.
Yeah, a lot of talent on the whole Korean women's doubles squad. Participating with 4 different, yeah, of course it's different because you're not allowed to play both the upper and the lower draw. So with 8 very talented ladies doubles players, and it's really interesting to see how they will develop in the period up to the Olympics.
Yeah, and I see this match as really quite a test and a strong indicator of how their partnership is progressing. The only thing that concerns me a little is that they've played so many tournaments. This must be their 7th tournament in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Service over.
And when you say that, it's not that when you're on the court that you don't want to win or you don't want to try your best. It's just that the urge is not as high as if it's a tournament that you've targeted and you've practiced towards this tournament for a long time.
Over. 5-1. Service over. 2-5.
Well, Steve, we know the qualities of this Japanese pair. Incredibly good defences. Very rarely make unforced errors. Very steady.
Yeah.
How do you counteract that as a pair? If you were coaching the Koreans right now, what would you? That's clever, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we know the Koreans, they have quite a solid defense as well. So So I wouldn't be too afraid of lifting. On the other hand, it wouldn't be the way I was looking to win points. I would try to get Japanese pair to attack out of position, to sort of judge the situation wrongly, and then see if I could come in with counter attacks. It's interesting to see what kind of tactics they employ. They've looked a little puzzled here in the first 10 rallies.
Yeah.
I talked to one of the coaches at breakfast here, because I felt that we hadn't had too much drift on this court the earlier days, but yesterday, especially in the women's singles, there were a lot of side drift from left to right, and the coach said that there definitely were drift in the hall, but mainly on the outer courts. So this court, the TV court, is actually quite good, and there's not so much drift, whether it's from the camera towards the Koreans or the other way around. I haven't been able to pick up on. I think there's been mistakes made on both baselines. It was interesting. I was checking the markets on various internet sites previous to this match, just of curiosity, of course. And it's actually the Koreans that are a slight favorite.
Really?
So they're disregarding the world ranking.
Yeah, but the world ranking we know isn't realistic for the Korean pair, because they've only played 7 tournaments.
Yeah, exactly.
And to get a realistic ranking, you really need 10 tournaments, a minimum of 10 tournaments.
And also perhaps taking recent form into account. Well played. Well
That's very
played.
well played.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I always think, you know, a new partnership, there's a new freshness, there's a new willingness to work, and, you know.
You're willing to run that little extra to help your partner, because you know that there's eventually going to be some misunderstandings, and you're very willing to cover that in the startup of a new pairing.
Yeah.
Well played.
Now you see, this is the sort of style that I watched last week at the Korean Grand Prix Gold in Jeonju, and I was very, very impressed. I mean, we know Chang Na is a great player. She was silver medalist at the World Championships with Hae-won in 2013, and her partner was twice World Junior Champion. First pair, along with Shin Sang-chan, to retain a doubles World Junior Championship. Oh, good rally. Very good rally.
Of course, it's a point for the Japanese, but it's really worrying for them, because it seems like the Koreans have a little bit more firepower than Matsutomo and Takahashi. And let's see if that's going to be decisive later in the match.
Service over. 8, 9.
Of course, it's unfair for me not to have mentioned that Lee So-hee was also a bronze medalist at last year's World Championships in the women's doubles. They both won medals, the Korean players, at senior level. And it's gone wrong.
Service over. 10, 8.
Nice.
11, 8.
So a 3-point advantage for the world number ones here in the opening game. Just 8 minutes played.
Yeah, this is where I feel that exactly the same as we saw yesterday with when Takahashi and Matsutomo was playing a Malaysian pair, that if you back away too much in the defense, if you stand too far away from the net, then you'll have difficulties against this Japanese pair. But if you move one step or half a step closer to the net, you'll be able to counter-attack a lot, because, I mean, Takahashi is having quite a very good smash, but it's not that dangerous. So you can actually, a lot of times, counter-attack on it. And I think the Koreans should be able to do that, because they have the movement also to cover the clears and the drop shots. So that would be my advice if I were Lee Kyung-won. There's no reason to be afraid of the Japanese attack.
11,
And if they move that little
play.
step forward, they'll be able to play past Matsutomo at the net. They'll be able to prevent her from intercepting.
Yeah, powerful left-hander.
Service over. 9-11.
Missed it.
10-11.
It's hard for Matsutomo to come forward from the baseline. The smash isn't really doing any harm to the Koreans, but clever shot placement. Now they have the preferred position with Takahashi at the back.
Oh, there's the confusion.
Yeah. Yeah, not only are they a new pair, they're also left-handed, right-handed combination,
Yeah.
which makes it even more difficult.
It's a good rally, isn't it? Oh, that's nice.
Well
Yeah.
played. Well
Yeah.
played.
11-4.
Well, 3 points since the mid-game interval, and all 3 points to the Korean pair. So whatever the Korean coaches
Use tower.
said, or Lee Kyung-won said, well, it's 68 shots, my goodness me.
Be quick.
Yep, quick. Good umpiring.
Japan, be quick.
I know it was a long rally,
Yeah.
but I didn't see the court attendants coming on to mop up the court. It was
No.
purely a timeout required after the length of the rally, which can be argued either way. Is it part of the game, part of the test of the sport, the physicality? Gosh, I'm a harsh person sometimes, aren't I? Oh,
Good
look at that defence. Beautiful.
That's not so good for the Japanese when Matsutomo is at the back of the court. They're not that strong. Well played.
That's nice. Yeah, they get the opportunity to attack the Japanese pair, but didn't take it.
No,
Service over.
no. And cleverly so, because they really got a good length on their lifts in this rally. it's sometimes easy to get a little bit too eager when you're playing against this Japanese pair, and I think a lot of the times, if the Japanese have the correct length on their lift, they should much rather clear to Matsutomo and sort of take her on in duel. Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah. Well, there was little thought about whether they should challenge that one. It would have been a waste, I'm sure, because I thought that was a good call too by the line judge.
I think, as you were mentioning, Jill, they've played a lot of tournaments, the Koreans. We saw in one of the earlier rounds, Matsutomo and Takahashi take on another Korean pair, and the Koreans won the first game, but seemed to run out of steam.
Yeah.
And, of course, Lee and Chang needs to perhaps worry a little bit about that as well. I love the play from the Koreans there, because Matsutomo, she's not able to really harm them from the back of the court. At least not while they're still fresh.
Oh, yes.
Service over.
Very nice interception from Takahashi. It sets it up.
I'd like to see Matsutomo being as decisive as she was on that final shot more often in a match.
Yeah.
Because I think she could intercept more, and when she does, sometimes she's too soft with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't finish it off.
No,
That
she
was
gives
good,
away
though.
too many chances.
Yeah.
14-13.
Well, just going back to that point we were making about the 10
Play.
Super Series titles so far going to 10 different pairs. 6 pairs who have won titles this year are outside the top 10. And the lowest of those at 47, having played just one tournament and won it. Winning the Japan was Zhao Yunlei and Chong Sian-sin.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? Brand new partnership, plays together for the first time, wins the title.
Yeah, and the thing is, probably when you're playing the Japan Open, you would already have had to submit your entries for this tournament and Hong Kong Open as well. So you don't really have the chance to sort of see what's happening and adjust your pairings as to when you see, oh, this is a very good partnership. We want them to continue, but very often the time limit is already expired. Good defense by Takahashi. Yeah, well played.
Service over. 15-14.
Yeah, the shot in between the two players is always confusing when you're just in a new partnership, who's going for what, and especially when you start to play with a left-hander when you haven't played with a left-hander before.
Yeah.
Must be very difficult. Now you see, that's the sort of decisive play when you get the opportunity at the front of the court. That was lovely from Chang Ye-na.
And Koreans going very much for their left hand, right hand combination there.
Service over. 16-15.
Well, since that mid-game interval, since closing the gap to 11-all, there's never been more than 1 point in it between these two pairs. Yeah, and that's still the case.
And she's dangerous when she's coming forward, Chang Yuna.
Oh, look at that. That's incredible smash, isn't it?
Great imagination.
Yeah.
I thought she placed her smash a little bit odd because until that one, there wasn't a really big chance for her partner Chang to intercept at the net. And by saying that, I mean that whether you place the smash on the right side or the left side of the opposite player or the player straight ahead of you indicates a little bit that there's some defensive pickups that are more easy if you're hit to the outer side of the court. It's more easy to pick up straight than get across. Whereas if you hit towards the middle, it's easier to make a cross-court pickup. Not towards the middle of the court, but on the inner side of the player.
Yeah. That could be costly.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there's too many easy mistakes from the Koreans, and I think that's going to cost them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're doing quite okay in the rallies. They're not dominant in the rallies, but I think they have a like 6-4 advantage out of 10 rallies. But then add the easy mistakes and
yeah, and that makes the difference.
Yeah. Jump smash.
Oh, yeah, and that's a missed opportunity too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kai Nakajima getting very animated. So now a 2-point advantage and 2 points from the opening game.
That's it. Well intercepted by Matsutomo.
Yeah.
Game point, 17.
And that good interception has earned them game point opportunities. 3 of them. Oh, service fault called.
Service over. 18.
Oh, she got called, I think it was 3 times yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Your hand.
No, the umpire not giving a clear hand signal. And as we discussed yesterday, there really is no need to be asking. I don't think it helped the situation, though, that umpire not clearing her interpretation. That's the opening game to the world number ones, Matsutomo and Takahashi.
18.
21-18 in 23 minutes. And even attempted between the leg shot, couldn't save the Koreans. So opening game.
그리고 두개 세 개 뺀다 연결하잖아. 미사키 쪽으로 피하를 쳐. 너무 공격만 계속 하려지 말고 하나 둘 셋 내가 때리고 그냥 바로 90으로 쳐놔.
Well, we obviously can't hear what any of the coaches are saying. We couldn't yesterday, so I'm going to have to ask you again, Steve, about... Not that we can speak Korean or Japanese anyway, we wouldn't be able to understand them. But I'm going to ask you for your interpretation of, you know, just sticking to what you said earlier.
For the Koreans?
For the Koreans.
Yeah, definitely take a step closer to the net in the defense. So and push, not push, but your lift, their lifts needs to be more flat. They tend to lift high and play a sort of defensive defense. I'd like them to play a little bit more offensive defense and lift more flat to the baseline, move the backcourt player from side to side, look for the opportunities, look for the easy points in the transition between offense and defense.
Mm.
And then I think I would have So-hee Lee when she's attacking. I think I would like to hit a lot so that she invites the defense from the Japanese girls to go towards the forehand side of Chang.
Exactly.
Because she's been very clinical with her kills compared to the other three players.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, luck at the neck cord too.
Service over. 1-2.
It's going wide.
Yeah.
Service over. 3-1.
Oh my goodness,
Good
that's a good smash.
save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4-1.
I think a big part of this is whether the Koreans have the physicality and the stamina to keep going with this style of play. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Look at that. She was getting a defend backhand, then changed to a defend forehand. That was magnificent. Good lift.
Yeah. Just step forward and put more and more pressure on Matsutomo because she's not going to do any harm from the backcourt. But she is from the front.
Yeah.
Great play there.
Service over.
But still, also emphasizing what you mentioned earlier, Jill, that she uses a lot of shots to kill it.
Yes. Like there.
And it could
Takes 3 or 4.
be, yeah, and it could be one of the reasons that we haven't really seen her excel in the mixed doubles.
Mm.
Because you won't get that many chances in the mixed.
I have to say though, I think that her front court play improved when she started playing mixed doubles with Kenichi Hawakawa.
That's good work. Good work by especially Ayaka Takahashi. And if she just gets the lift where she doesn't have to move a lot, she's really, really good from the back court. Places herself in a better position, but if she has to move before she hits the smash, then it's not so dangerous.
Yeah,
well
that's
played.
very good.
Well played.
Service over.
Now, what were you suggesting? Flatter pushes deep?
Exactly. Don't give away so much time. Don't let, especially Takahashi, have time to swing her arm with the powerful smashes.
It's always nice when the players prove your point, isn't it, Steen?
Exactly.
Service over. 4-5.
I think the Japanese pair is better than the Koreans in utilizing or sort of profiting from these transition states. They are more clinical when they get an easy chance on the mid-court.
Service over. 6-4.
Of course, that might have something to do with their partnership has been going on for a lot longer time than the one with Lee and Chang.
In fact, I understand the Japanese pair played together at high school when they were juniors. That's a nice drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're giving away way too much time to Takahashi, and if they continue to do that, they're going to be in problems in their defense.
Well, we can't quite see from looking at that again, but that once again proved the point that you were making, how far back they were in their defensive stance, and they've got to move forward.
Yeah, and it is the Korean style. We've seen that in the men's doubles. They're almost standing on the first baseline, especially in the men's doubles with the defense there, and are very, very quick moving forward. But I'm not sure that will win them this game.
Oh, challenge here. Challenge from the Japanese pair.
I don't think it's on the line, but I think it touches the line. Let's see.
Yeah, I thought it touched the line.
Yeah.
But we didn't get it right yesterday. Or I didn't get it right yesterday. I thought one was definitely out and it was called in. But we're both right there, Steen.
But that's a bad challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge unsuccessful. Ayaka, Takahashi. One challenge remaining. Service over. 7-5.
Short. Yeah. Now, again, the Koreans, and especially Lee So-hee, doing exactly what you suggested during the break between the first and the second game. More positive on defence, looking for that opportunity to drive the shuttle back and move forward. Oh yes, that's a good smash.
And look how steady she is. She's just getting herself into a little bit better position every time she smashes Takahashi. So I know it sounds easy when we're saying what we think the opponent should do here. It's not that easy when you're standing down there on the court. Another idea could be to flick to this girl, Matsutomo, in order to put her on the backcourt from the beginning of the rally. Yeah.
7, 8.
I think these small, quick mistakes are going to kill the Koreans eventually.
Oh yes, that's a good smash.
8,
Threading it down the line there. The Japanese pair back level. Look at this. This is inch perfect.
Yeah.
Just inside that sideline.
Service over. 9, 8.
Good read.
Service over.
It is a very good read. And when I see that, I don't understand why she doesn't do that more often.
Do not stop.
But then I have to keep telling myself that my style of play, when I was a player, I was a bit of a risk taker, wasn't I? When I used to drive you coaches absolutely bananas because, you know, I'd probably take too many risks. And I look at the way the game has developed now and, you know, the improvement, especially on the defensive play, since the time when I was playing, it's a remarkable improvement. It's totally different now.
10, 9. Service over. 10, 4.
And one thing for the Koreans to be aware of is that if they play Matsutomo these soft shots and so on, there's always going to come some creative shot back at them. She is the one really trying to make the more creative shots of the Japanese side. Takahashi really strong above the
Service
tape, but
over.
not
11,
that creative.
10. Interval.
So just 1 point in it at the mid-game interval here in the second game.
Line judge. Line judge.
Yeah.
Kyung-won has made the transition to player, from player to coach. So made that transition very smoothly indeed.
도 마찬가지. 수비를 절대 던지면 안 된다. 수비를 가뿐하게 하면 돼. 높게 때리고 낮게 가는
Just looking down the list of former champions,
Cost 1, 20
and I
seconds.
don't think either of the two great coaches, Lee Kyung-won for the Koreans and Park Ju-bong for the Japanese, but of course he played for Korea. I don't think either of them have won this China Open title.
Oh. That's a bit surprising,
Yeah.
11,
thinking how dominant
play.
Park was in especially the mixed, but also the men's doubles.
I think I should point out that the China Open only started, I believe, in 1991.
Yeah, but that was when he was at his prime.
Yeah, he won the
Service over.
Olympics in '92,
Yes.
didn't he?
4.
But of course, China had a very strong pairing
Yeah.
at that time with head coach Li Yongbo and assistant head coach Chen Bingyi.
And in fact, they did win that first China Open in 1991, men's doubles title.
Yeah.
12, 11.
And it's very nice with all this defense from the Korean side, and they're moving Matsutomo, but they're not really challenging her.
No.
They're giving her all the time in the world, and she can eventually outmaneuver them. Yeah,
Service over. 13,
I would
12.
definitely target Takahashi in the attack if I were the Koreans. I wouldn't use a whole lot of power. I would be more focused on
Play.
keeping my balance in order to move to the next shot. As we discussed, she's not that creative as this player, Matsutomo. Well played.
It was all about the placement
Service
and
over.
angle of the smash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
4.
Look how far back she's standing.
Yeah. Look at Lee
It's
So-hee,
one shoe in front of the
double service line.
first double service line. Yeah.
Yeah.
14, 13.
Now that looks to me as if the left-hander is holding her left shoulder. That's a little bit concerning.
Well, as they say, if one part of your body, if there's not hurt in at least one part of your body, you're not practicing hard enough.
Yeah.
13.
But they look disheartened now, the Koreans. I think they got to win one of the next two rallies in order to stay in this. Otherwise, I think we have the finalist here in the picture.
Missed it.
Yeah.
Service over. 14, 15.
That was right idea, because Lee So-hee was committed to her backhand defence, so hitting it down her forehand side. Yeah, it was good defence from
Service over.
Matsutomo,
16,
stepping into it, driving it across court.
played.
Service over.
Now you see that to me is a pity that Matsutomo missed that, because that would have given her encouragement to try to intercept more.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the fact that she missed it, she's probably going to continue to be reluctant to really hunt the shuttle at the net, or hunt the shuttle more than she does at the moment.
Takahashi, she moved out of the way to invite Matsutomo to come forward.
Service over. 17.
So you could say that in many ways the Japanese are totally aware of what their concept is.
Yeah.
And you could say that the Koreans lack that a little bit. And of course that's natural when they've only played, was it 7 tournaments?
Yes,
18,
one last year, 6 this
15.
year.
Of course, played quite late last night, beating Christina Pedersen, Camilla Ricciol. Quite easy, but it is a little tough
Service over.
finishing that late Friday night and have to go up and play the first match here on Saturday.
Certainly gone 10 o'clock, wasn't it? They won't finish before 10.
No, it was, I think, after that as well.
This is so important, this rally for the Koreans.
Well played. That's beautiful play by Lee and Chang.
17. 18.
Seventeen, 18. Oh, goodness. Wasn't the best to serve, got away with it. Yeah,
Excellent drop shot.
Service over.
yeah.
19. 17.
You're once again proving your point, Steen. Defensive stance of the Koreans too far back in court.
Yeah, and if you have just one lift that is high, then you're already in trouble.
Mm. Match points have arrived for the world number ones. 3 of them. And that's it. The world number ones through to their 3rd Super Series tournament final this year. Winners, of course, in India, beaten finalists in Singapore, and now finalists once again, this time at the China Premier Super Series. 21-18, 21-17 in 48 minutes. So the first of our semi-finals complete, and victory to the world number ones. We've got Japanese players in the men's doubles coming up, and then we've got men's singles, the match that so many of us are looking forward to, Lin Dan against Lee Chong Wei. It will be the 35th meeting between those two players. But first we have the men's doubles, Kim Ji-jung and Kim Sa-rang up against Kenichi Hayakawa and Hiroyuki Endo. Well, looking at the destination Dubai rankings, and you can see the top 5 remain the same after the French Open. The number 6 and 7 changed places, and Kim moved into the top 10. Well, you can see at semi-final stage 2 Korean pairs, and former champions Bo and Mogensen beaten yesterday by this pair. 2-time former champions, incidentally, the Danes, Bo and Mogensen. But my goodness, hasn't this pair come good towards the end of this year? Kim Ji-jung and Kim Sa-rang. Well, I was very disappointed with the way they started the year. The Koreans didn't look to be in the best physical shape. But now they've been in 3 finals. One of those finals, I have to point out, is a non-ranking event, the World University Games, where they won gold. But I thought that was the catalyst for them beginning to believe again and regaining their form. They followed that up, of course, with a runners-up spot in their home Super Series event, and last week they won their home Grand Prix Gold event. So there, Kim Ji-jung, this is his second semi-final here at this tournament, because 2 years ago he was in the semi-final of the mixed doubles. 25-year-old Kim Ji-jung, his partner Kim Sa-rang, 26. Well, this their 3rd semi-final in their last 4 Super Series tournaments for the Koreans. And that sort of emphasises my point about a resurgence in their form, which is very, very good to see. Up 1 place in the world ranking this week, up to number 11, and that means that they leapfrog and swap places with the former world champions Go Sung-kyung and Shin Bek-cho, who of course we saw in the top half of the draw here at the China Open. Well, in the very first round they beat the number 8 seeds Lee Sheng-mo and Tsai Chia-sin. Yesterday they beat the 2-time winners Bo and Mogensen, both those matches in 3 games. So to the Japanese pair, the number 5 seeds, there's Kenichi Hayakawa, 29 years of age. His partner will only turn 29 next month. The number 6 in the world ranking at the moment. They have been as high as 2, a total of 6 weeks at number 2 in the world, and that happened last year. As we saw, they're number 3 on the Super Series list, and they've played all 10 Super Series tournaments. This, of course, is the 11th Super Series tournament of the 12 in the MetLife BWF World Super Series Tour. They have won all of their matches in 2 straight games. Well, I hope you were able to read that. I can tell you a little bit more. Second round, they beat Taiyun and Liu Kai. If you were with us on Thursday, you will have enjoyed that match. 10th meeting between these 2 pairs, and the Japanese pair won 5 of the previous 9, including the last, which was the quarter-final of the Japan Super Series. So, of course, the Japanese pair on home soil. Now, let me tell you more about the Japanese pair. In their quarter-final, they beat Wang Yilu and Zhang Wen of China. And that young Chinese pair is the pair that in the second round beat the world champions and number 2 seeds Mohamed Hassan and Hendra Setiawan. So for them to beat them 11 and 4